Hello everyone, I'm Alex Young and welcome to my video diary number 7 of the year. You're probably watching this on Racemate Live. If you're not, you can always catch this on Racemate Live. It's a Fox website where I do little bits of analysis before and after races. So, what are we going to talk about today? I was thinking maybe we'd talk about overtaking. Mostly because our last race we saw in Bahrain was one of the best races I've seen in a long time. I would have to say that there have perhaps been more thrilling races in Formula 1, more, I don't know, exterior excitement or even up to the last lap sort of stuff. But what made Bahrain so good was the racing. It was the quality of the overtaking. It was a proper racer's race. Now what do I mean by that? I mean, we have seen other races in the past where we have seen overtaking. You know, in the last couple of years, a lot of stuff has been done to encourage that sort of thing. But this is the first race I've seen in Formula 1 that I can remember where you actually saw overtaking happen, but more importantly, you saw the cars that were getting overtaken getting back at each other. So you saw people getting re-overtaken. And that's more in line with go-karting, MotoGP, you know, where if a driver doesn't quite make it perfectly, you know, even if he's done an overtake, there's a chance for the other driver to get back at him. And that's real racing. That's what drivers love, where the pressure is always on it. And that's why you saw the reaction of the drivers. You know, they're all calling it such a good race. I mean, Lewis Hamilton said it was the best race he's had since karting. And, you know, that's an interesting statement, because why? I mean, you'd think Formula 1, as is the pinnacle of motorsports, that the racing should be the best as well. But the fact of that matter, it isn't. You know, I mean, Formula 1 is about a lot more other things, but it hasn't been about racing. You know, if you want to go for real quality racing, you go watch a kart race or even MotoGP. You know, the way the drivers are, or the riders in that case, are always swapping positions. Now, why is it so difficult? Well, then we have to go back a little bit and talk about why it's hard to overtake in Formula 1. Now, in any Formula car, and especially Formula 1, you have wings on them. And the problem with the wings is you need a clear airflow over the wings to kind of push the car into the ground to give it grip. Now, when you have to do that, because you think of them as upside down airplane wings. So it pushes the car into the ground to give it the grip, whereas an airplane it kind of lifts them up into the air. So it's kind of the opposite effect of that. Now to have that, you need to have clean air. And if you're following the car too closely in front, the air onto your wings is disturbed and you don't have the grip, so you're artificially handicapped. So you always have to follow a car from behind, and it's very hard to try and overtake if you're very far behind. So what they've tried to do that is they've added some artificial ways to improve that. Now one of them is that, you know, Pirelli came in and they tried to make it so that the tires degraded a lot faster. Now this for me is fake overtaking, because what happened last year was, and everyone loved it to begin with, including me, was you saw a lot of overtaking, but the reason why that was because a car in front would use its tires up too much and be helpless to help himself if another car just came and overtook him. And this car would then disappear off in the distance. So it was kind of fake. You know, this guy was compromised because his tires were deteriorating too much, and the drivers all complained about it. Now Pirelli have changed that for this year. They made the tires harder and more resilient. And another artificial way of introducing overtaking to make up for the disadvantage of the wings is DRS, the drag reduction system, meaning a car that's coming up behind, if it gets close enough, they're allowed to flatten their rear wing, and that gives them more straight line speed to overtake. Okay, it's kind of a disadvantage for the car in front, but hey, it makes it up for the fact that you're disadvantaged by the airflow following a car closely behind. It's not a perfect solution, but it has helped in more overtaking. But you know, it still wasn't quite enough. I always felt that being the disadvantage of the following car and the airflow was really difficult. What I think's helped this year is that it's got the energy recovery system. Now with the energy recovery system, you are able to save some power to try and use it at a specific point, shall I say. So as an attacking driver, you're able to study the driver in front, see where he's slow, and try and set him up so that you can use that extra energy to go around him. And we saw that in Bahrain being used very well. Drivers are very clever and they're trying different moves. Ricciardo did a very good job of using that quite cleverly as well. Now, so that has helped a lot. Now, ideally, sorry, no, the other thing I was going to say was that what else also happens is the harder tires have also helped that as well. Because in last year, the tires would fall apart so quickly that even if you made the overtake, the car behind would soon fall back. So what happened this year with the harder tires is you saw drivers coming back against each other. You know, Hülkenberg would get Perez and Perez would get Hülkenberg, and that's what we need. Now, ideally, I personally feel it'd be better to get rid of all the artificial requirements, but that would also mean, and that would especially mean abandoning the wings, because the wings are the sensitive area, bringing it back to the F1 of the 60s. But they hold some pretty good sponsorship space for sponsors to put their thing down, and I don't think that's ever going to go away anytime soon. And I do like what's happening now at Formula One with energy recovery system. It's making it really cutting edge. And only time will tell if it really is the best thing forward. But I'm very keen to see how it pans out. But from what I saw in Bahrain, it does make me hopeful for the future. You know, a future where the art of overtaking is back. Now, I'd love to talk about the art of overtaking, but I've kind of run out of time. So maybe I'll save that for another day or another diary. And talking about future diaries, you know, if any of you guys have any questions that you want me to answer or any topics you want me to discuss, why don't you send that to me? You can either get me through Twitter, my Twitter handle is Alex Young, or you can get it through my Facebook page, which is Alex Young F1. All right, I think that's it for now. See you guys next time.